Hello, girls and boys. Welcome to Storytime Fun. We hope you enjoy it. Today's story is called The Popples Pajama Party, written by Gail George. Popples are funny little fur balls. When Popples move into people's houses, the fun really starts. Sometimes it takes months before the people know they have a house full of Popples guests. Usually the children are the first to make friends with the Popples. But the day that a little girl named Monica learned that her Aunt Sue and Uncle Bob were coming to visit with her cousins Mark and Judy, no one knew, not even Monica, that Party Popple was listening and the other Popples were happily living in their closets, under their beds, and all around the house. Monica was excited. Her cousins lived very far away. When she last saw them, her cousin Judy was so little she couldn't even walk or talk. Best of all, both of her cousins were going to sleep in with her in her room. "It will be like having a real pajama party, won't it, Mom?" said Monica. "I guess it will," answered her mother. "And they'll be here on Wednesday," said Monica. "I can hardly wait." Party Popple wondered what a pajama party was. She rolled upstairs to tell the other Popples. Most of the Popples were having a fun time bouncing from shelf to shelf in the linen closet and playing with the interesting things they found there. None of the Popples knew anything more about a pajama parties than Party Popple, but they all wanted to go. "It must be a party for pajamas," said puzzled Popple. "I once saw some pajamas on a clothesline," said Pretty Bit, "and they were having a lovely time swinging their arms and legs and dancing in the wind." "Since we know pajamas love to dance, we'd better plan making some music," said Party Popple. "Wouldn't it just be like people to give a party for their pajamas and forget the music?" And so the Popples decided to find some instruments and meet in Monica's room at 8 o'clock on Wednesday night. During the next few days, everyone was very busy preparing for the visitors. Monica picked up her toys and put everything in her room in place. She helped her mother get the guest room ready and cook a pie. Grandpa clipped the hedges and mowed the lawn. "Everything looks spiffy," said Grandpa. "Everything but the linen closet," said Monica's mother. "I don't know how it always gets so messy." At last the company arrived. The grown-ups had plenty to say, but the children just looked at one another. "Why don't you show Mark and Judy your tree house?" suggested Grandpa. Before long, the cousins were chattering away like old friends. Little Judy was trying to act grown up. She didn't want Monica to think she was a baby. She had even left the stuffed bear she usually slept with at home. Meanwhile, the Popples had been searching all over the house for instruments to borrow. PC searched through a box of rummage down in the basement and found an old toy xylophone that Monica had played with as a toddler. Puffball found a little harmonica, and Prize found a horn. Upstairs in the kitchen, Pancake Popple found some rice in a box, which made a nice noise when she shook it. Party Popple borrowed a frying pan, and Potato Chip and Pretty Bit took some spoons to beat the pan like a drum. Prize Popple was practicing playing tunes on a comb with a piece of tissue. Only little Putter Popple had no instrument to play, and party time was growing closer and closer. The other Popples said Putter could use a straw for a baton and be the band leader, but Putter wanted to play something like the others. Maybe he'd get an idea from listening to the people. While the family was eating dinner, Putter bounced into an empty teapot and listened carefully. His ears perked up when Uncle Bob asked Grandpa how he liked his new false teeth. "I like those rattle traps best when I take them out at night," said Grandpa. "That's the only time they stop clattering." At last, the perfect instrument. Putter hoped Grandpa would go to bed soon. The children played outside for a little while after dinner, and then Monica's father called them inside to get ready for bed. "We get to stay up later at home," complained Judy. She was a little nervous about sleeping in a strange bed in a strange room. "We don't have to go to sleep right away. After all, we're really having a pajama party." "I'm tuckered out. I think I'll turn in now, too," said Grandpa, to Putter Popples' delight. Once the grown-ups closed Monica's bedroom door, the cousins hopped out of bed. First they played catch with the pillows, then they had a contest to see who could stand the most tickling without laughing. Their giggles brought Monica's father upstairs. It's time you kids settle down. It's almost 8 o'clock, he said. "I know what we can do," whispered Mark. "Let's tell ghost stories with our creepiest, quietest voices." "Great," said Monica. "You start." Oh, how Judy wished she had her teddy bear to hug. Even though she knew the stories were make-believe, she was getting scared. She knew if she fell asleep, ghosts and monsters would bobble through her dreams. She jumped when the clock in the hall started to chime 8. But what happened next made all 3 cousins sit up in amazement and turned Judy's shivers into a smile. "Who are you? Where did you come from?" Monica asked the funny-looking creatures who bounced into her bedroom. "We're the Popples," said Party Popple, "and we've been living right here in your house. When we heard you were giving a party for all your pajamas, we thought you'd like some music. We all know how much pajamas like to dance." "A party for pajamas?" asked Mark. "Pajamas that like to dance?" asked Judy. All 3 children covered their mouths to muffle their laughter. "Don't worry," said Pretty Bit. "Popples no giggles are good for people. If you just say, 'Hopple popple, ding dong dopple,' none of the grown-ups will hear you." The cousins said the words and the room filled with laughter. However, the Popples were disappointed to learn that a pajama party was not a party for pajamas, but a party where people wear pajamas. They perked up quickly when the children begged to hear the Popples band. The band made the funniest sounds the cousins had ever heard, especially Putter Popples' clickety-clackety solo on Grandpa's false teeth. Before long, the children were cavorting around the room, laughing and dancing until at last they were tired. "Now I think it's time for you and your pajamas to get some sleep," said Party Popple. "Please promise to visit again," said Monica. "We will," said the Popples. When the other Popples left, Puffball bounced onto Judy's bed and cuddled up with her. Judy fell asleep with a smile on her face, while funny Popples bobbled through her dreams. Well, that's it for today. See you next time.